Welcome to another video, guys. Today we're going to be talking about all of the Shaman cards that got revealed, so you guys know what you could be expecting out of the class when Across the Timeways comes out. I'm also going to be doing my very own Rogue review in a few hours after this video comes out, so be on the lookout for that one. I really think it came out a banger. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, you know what to do, but now let's check out the Shaman cards.
You are not prepared!
Okay, so the Hearthstone website still hasn't updated all the new Shaman cards yet, so let's move down to other websites that did. And here we have Hearthstone top decks. Let's see what the Shaman is going to be working with. A little bit too white for my liking this side, but it is what it is. Anyway, we're starting off with Farseer Wo. This is a 4-mana 2/6, and it has elusive. After you cast a spell, discover a nature spell from the past. Sounds kind of interesting. It is a legendary card for the Shaman class, and there are plenty of nature spells from the past indeed. But would we really care about them too much without a discount? I don't know. Mage has a pretty cool card like that does something similar, but it does give you a discount. I guess this guy also probably is gonna make some sense in some slower variants of Shaman perhaps, because it could be quite the value card once you get yourself a good amount of mana, and you are discovering after all, so you can always be picking the cheapest. But I don't know. For now, nothing really pops up into my mind for potential amazing nature spells you could be getting over and over again, and the past definitely contains a lot nowadays. Like, we have 10 years worth of past nature spells, so the pool would be quite weird. The fabled card for Shaman would be the 5-mana 3/2 Muradin High King. Fabled, rush, battlecry, bring the High King's hammer to me. Death rattle added to your hand. Okay, so basically this guy is gonna fish out your weapon from your deck or hand, and the weapon is High King's hammer, 6-mana 3/4. Wind Fury, Death rattle, shuffle this into your deck with +2 attack permanently. Damn son, that's actually kinda insane. He also brings the 3-mana avatar form. Give a friendly character +2 attack, and after this attacks, deal 2 damage to all enemies this turn. All around, this thing actually looks kinda insane. Once you play this guy, he basically becomes a 6/6 with rush, wind fury, and also at the death rattle it brings it to your own hand, so that's actually kinda cool. And I think the death rattle actually works if you fish it out with Muradin first, so you get this back into your hand as a 5/4, and after you're done with it, you shuffle it back into your deck as a 7/4. Kinda insane, not gonna lie. And we might actually see some slower weapon oriented Shaman like this, all thanks to this Muradin High King. Not to mention the spell that you could be clapping on even your face, giving yourself Wind Fury, so you can giving yourself a +2 attack and a 2 damage AoE on a Wind Fury weapon would be actually 8 damage on a stick, which is kinda insane. Does look like a huge card, and people do rate it very highly as well, so yeah, Shaman is gonna be doing pretty well with this thing, I do believe. We also have a 6-mana spell, Epic, instant Multiverse. It does have the rewind tag on it, and it summons 12 mana worth of random minions, but it overloads you for 3 mana. 12 mana worth of minions could be an absolute flop, but with the rewind, surely you're gonna get yourself something adequate at least one of the times. So it should be an okay spell. No tag on it or anything like that to give it a little bit of support. I wouldn't say it's gonna cut it into any real serious deck for the most part, but getting this as a discover when you really need a little bit of extra value, a little bit of extra board could be interesting, but I wouldn't really be going around putting this into any of my decks, I think. We also have a new nature spell, 1-mana Lightning Rod. This thing deals 2 damage to a friendly minion to deal 4 damage to a random enemy minion. And people are rating it awfully poorly so far, and I think they don't realize this card is actually huge support for some of the other cards that are getting released this expansion. So yeah, Shaman is actually going to be benefiting from casting nature spells on their own minions, and instead of them taking damage, they actually do some beneficial stuff. So I would say if that kind of archetype does work out, this card would be an absolute staple in all of those decks, but it really comes down to how good the whole deck is. So it is gonna take a little bit of time to really assess that. I do believe this would be a pretty broken spell if it actually does work as good as it's supposed to, and also it's a 1-mana deal 4 damage to a random enemy minion. In the end of the day, that would be pretty cool. Even if the deal 2 damage actually does deal 2 damage to your own minion, I'd say it still wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to be doing, especially if you need that random 4 damage. The other super cheap nature spell that could be allowing a lot of shenanigans for Shaman would be the 0-mana Static Shock. Deal 1 damage to a minion, give your hero +1 attack this turn. Again, this is a very cheap nature spell for you, so with all of those minions that are going to be benefiting from them getting cast nature spells on, this would be a huge inclusion just for 0 mana, and also giving you a little bit of benefit would be pretty awesome indeed. And here we're starting to see some of those minions that are going to be benefiting from all of these cheap nature spells. This is a 2-mana 2/3 Primordial Overseer Battlecry. If you've cast a nature spell while holding this, gain +1/+1 and draw draw a card. Quite a decent minion for only 2 mana. It basically becomes a 2 mana 3/4 that draws you a card, which is definitely no joke. Last time I checked, that's a little bit above par for what 2 mana minions are supposed to be doing, so this one should be pretty awesome indeed. The 2 mana Thunderquake is also a nice little nature spell you could be adding to your deck. Deal 1 damage to all minions, get a Static Shock. For those that don't remember, Static Shock is the 0 mana nature spell we just talked about, so definitely pretty awesome to get yourself 2 nature spells at the grand total price of 2 mana. It does deal damage to all minions, however, so keep that in mind. This again is actually very beneficial for the last couple of minions we're going to be talking about in this video. We also have the 3 mana Nascent Bolt. Nascent? Is that how you pronounce that? Do let me know in the comments. And this thing deals 5 damage to a minion. If it survives, draw 2 cards. So basically it's Arcane Intellect for shamans. Everybody gets one of those nowadays, huh? Again, it's a nature spell. Again, it deals damage. And again, it is going to be of huge benefit to the last couple of cards we're going to be talking about. And not to mention, it also draws you a couple of cards. And you could actually be using it on the enemy's stuff. And if it survives, you just finish it off with something else. But you also got yourself a couple of cards. So definitely not a bad package so far from what I'm seeing for Shaman. And here's the first really important card for all of these cheap nature spells we have been seeing. It's a 2 mana 1/4 elemental. Taunt. Whenever you would damage this with a nature spell, it gains +2/+1 instead. Now we get to remember all of those super good cheap nature spells we were talking about that people were rating poorly. The 0 mana deal 1 damage is gonna make this into a 3/5. The 1 mana deal 2 to deal 4 damage to a random enemy would be buffing this guy even further. And the 3 mana 5 damage spell is also gonna be buffing this thing and giving you a couple of cards. Now things actually start making a lot more sense. Will it be powerful enough? We're gonna have to wait and see. And the last card is gonna be the 5 mana 5/5 elemental beast, Stormroot. Whenever you would damage this with a nature spell, summon a random 5-cost minion instead. Yep, definitely the plan is coming together, guys. This thing dropping down as soon as turn 4 or 5 and then blasting a bunch of cheap nature spells on it would be super huge, and you will be able to build some pretty decent boards. So all around, I think the Shaman package definitely makes a lot of sense. Like, do let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is this just Blizzard super streamlining something for the Shaman class, which is not gonna work very well, or did we actually get ourselves a cool new archetype to be playing with really soon? I myself would be wishfully thinking this thing is actually gonna make it into a cool new Shaman archetype, but we will have to wait and see. The Fabled card definitely is super strong, and I am expecting it to be breaking some metas for sure. And the cool new nature package also is looking very promising indeed. So that's gonna be it for this card review, guys. Do let me know in the comments what you guys think about all of these Shaman cards. The views on these videos are definitely abysmal, so I don't even know if I'm gonna do this again next expansion when that comes around, but for this one I will finish it off. But I'm definitely not very happy with the views so far. Maybe it's gonna pick up when the Fury crafting starts soon, or when it's time for the expansion to actually launch and people actually want to see what the cards are looking like. But for now, videos are literally the worst on my channel ever for the entirety of it, like almost 8 years out. These videos are doing worse than my channel was doing card reviews literally when I started, and they were getting like 500 to 1,000 views when I had like 1,000 subscribers, and now we're closing in on 30k and we're getting like 400 views on some of these. Not amazing, but it is what it is, guys. What can I say? Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, subscribe. But that's gonna be it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.